Good evening. 6.0, reconvene open session, procedural business, 5:30 p.m. 6.1, call to order. The Board of Trustees are hereby reconvening, let me get my brain screwed on straight. 6.1, call to order. The Board of Trustees are hereby convening the open session at 5:33 p.m. 6.2, roll call. Trustees identify themselves by first and last name to formally establish quorum. Deanna Ridland, trustee area 2. Cindy Gardner, trustee area 3.
Dr. William Mellinger, trustee area 1, home of Valley of Enchantment Elementary School.
Very good. So we do have a quorum with 3 of us. Unfortunately, Scott Kraft and George Zarate are not able to join us tonight, but we do have our quorum with having 3 of us here. 5.3, Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to ask Mr. Harrison Scull to lead us.
Okay, hello, Grace, for Pledge of Allegiance. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. 7.0, closed session report. 7.1, announcement of reportable actions taken during closed session. Reporting out statement is in closed session, the board took action to dismiss classified employee number 3022 pursuant to Education Code sections 45113 and 45116, Article 1323 of the agreement between the district and the California School Employees Association and District Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 4218, effective immediately, and directed the superintendent or designee to send out appropriate legal notices. It was voted on and it was a unanimous vote. Moving forward, 8.0, public testimony. We do have, so I'm going to go ahead and read 8.1, public comment period for items listed on this agenda and non-agenda items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the governing board. The public comment period is administered by state law and is the point in the meeting set aside for members of the public to share their opinions with the board. Open meeting laws do not permit the board to engage in dialogue or answer questions. Though it may not take action on non-agenda issues raised at the public comment period, the board, for example, may refer any matter to the superintendent for review or take action to direct staff to place a matter of business on a future agenda. No person is granted any privilege by the governing board to make statements which may be considered defamatory or otherwise actionable by other persons, including district officers and employees. Protocols for speakers. Any person who wishes to address the governing board on agenda and non-agenda items within the subject matter of their jurisdiction must complete a speaker's form and submit it to the executive secretary to the superintendent before the meeting is called to order. Individual speakers are allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda item. The board limits the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. Speakers who have complaints against board members or staff are encouraged to seek resolution to these complaints by using the Rim of the World Unified School District written complaint procedure rather than orally addressing them at a meeting. The board will not respond to such complaints until the applicable complaint procedure, BP/AR 1312.1, has been followed and has reached the board level. Where a complaint concerns a district employee identifiable by name, position, or other facts, the board cannot respond until proper written notice has been given to the employee pursuant to Government Code Section 54957. Decorum. The governing board is interested in the ideas and opinions of all stakeholders and endeavors to incorporate community views into its deliberations and decisions. At the same time, it must be able to conduct its business in an organized and efficient manner, free from material disruption. Therefore, in accordance with Board Bylaw 9323 and Government Code Section 54957.9, audience members may not disrupt, disturb, or otherwise impede the orderly conduct of this meeting. Open meeting laws do not confer any privilege or protection for expression beyond that otherwise provided by law. The public's understanding and cooperation are appreciated. So I'm going to go ahead to the first public comment. I'm going to ask Ben Pratt, who is representing building trades. on the topic MC3 program and other support. If you can please come forward, and right there and on the microphone, you're going to go ahead and hit the button in the bottom so the light turns red, and that'll tell us if the speaker is on. You want to be up, so if you want to have a seat, and there will be a timer, so you'll see the 3 minutes. So thank you.
You guys hear me okay? All right, good evening, members of the board. How you doing? My name is Ben. I am the vice president of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers in San Bernardino, Inyo, and Mono County. I'm also a delegate to the Building Trades Council, which is kind of the umbrella organization for all the trade affiliates in the region. The reason that I'm here tonight is because we believe in doing outreach to the districts and providing apprenticeship opportunities to high school students here in the region. And I was talking with Mr. Chefs over here, and it was kind of brought to my attention that the mountain communities may not be receiving a lot of that outreach. And I think that, you know, all kids deserve the opportunity. What we offer in the IBW, for instance, and it will be the same for all trades with minor differences. But for us specifically, it's a 5-year apprenticeship program where you earn as you learn, and it results in a 6-figure income, and it's completely debt-free, and there's no charge to the student. The way that we usually, facilitate that for high school kids is that we typically start out by doing outreach at the high school level, and just identifying young folks that are interested in what we have to offer, and just kind of, giving them a taste of, of multiple crafts. And usually by the time they're a senior, they'll have a chance to kind of identify which one seems to pique their interest the most, and then we can point them in the right direction of how to really engage in the apprenticeship process and get that ball rolling. Again, there are no strings attached to this. We just do this because this is our way of giving back. I wouldn't be the vice president of anything if it wasn't for some electrician taking a chance on me when I was a young guy and just teaching me the ropes. Full transparency, some of the unions, back in the 70s and 80s were kind of a good old boys club, and you had to know somebody to get in. And it took me a while to get in because of that, because I didn't know anybody. And we're working really hard to change that and to make these opportunities available, to anybody who wants them. We believe in what we're doing, and we believe in what we're selling here, and it's near and dear to my heart. I was lucky when I walked in here to run into the principal of Riverworld High School. I was able to share my contact with him, and hopefully I'll be talking to his CTE director there soon. And anywhere we can be of service, I'm a great contact. I know Mr. Chefs is a great contact up here, and we're just happy to help. Okay, that's timing right there.
Thank you. And it sounds like you already have a follow-up set up, so I was going to defer it to you, but it sounds like.
Next year card is there.
Steve, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you. And then we also have Harrison Scullin representing Rim Family Services, wanting to discuss parent education night in conjunction with a school event or distributed announcement to parents using school methods of communication. And you're going to want to hit the button so that the red light comes on.
All right, good evening. My name is Harrison Scullin from Rim Family Services. I'm the Prevention Program Coordinator, and my particular department is over environmental prevention. Our goal is to prevent youth access to drugs and alcohol. And this is done through our activities such as the Game of Skate competition, the Crestline Skate Park, youth art shows, as well as youth dances. Another way we accomplish this is through our parent night presentations. In the past, we've hosted these events at the Twin Peaks Community Center, as well as online, but we feel that we aren't reaching enough parents with that. And because, as you also know, if you want to help a youth, you also need to have parent involvement. What we were wondering is if there's an activity or some other form of a parent conference that the school district already hosts that we could be a part of. We found at events such as the health fair held earlier this year, we were better able to reach the parents when they're already at an event. Another idea is if there isn't one, at least for this calendar year, if the school would be willing to help us promote our event through the newsletter or any other methods of communication to bring awareness to that parent education night. Now, the goal of the event would be to share with the parents the dangers of fentanyl, vaping, and other drugs that our youth are being exposed to. This would also be a way to connect more with the community on ways to help and recover from addiction to these substances. So to get in contact with us or with me, you could call my direct line at 909-255-0586 or the main office at 909-336-1800. Thank you.
And thank you. And if I can ask you to contact our main office to be able to facilitate getting what you need. Next up, I've got Teachers Association. Is there anybody here to represent RTA? No. Let me go ahead with CSEA then. I see some CSEA folks here.
The button or?
No, it's already on.
Okay.
Red light is on.
Good evening. I appreciate the opportunity to speak on behalf of CSCA. I also appreciate the opportunity to speak with the board as we begin the new school year. This is my 19th year with RAM, and I have seen so many changes. Some have been good changes, some have not, but year after year, I look forward to being with the kids and seeing them grow and grow. Each year, we have welcome back morning. Usually, they are really good. It's to see our friends, to get to know each other again, how's your summer, and everything. This year was a little bit different. We as classified felt out of sorts. I think one of the reasons that we felt out of sorts is because the guest speaker that we had was geared more towards the teachers. I know AI is here, I understand AI, but I am not a teacher in a classroom, and I don't feel that I need to know AI. What we need is a speaker who is uplifting, motivating, to get us energized, to get us going for the upcoming year. Not only that, no RIM employee was recognized for their services. Every year, we have been recognized for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And I know some people think getting a pin and a certificate might not be much, but the fact that they've been here that long at the RIM school districts is an accomplishment in itself. There was no recognition at all. So again, we classified felt left out, especially for the custodians and the maintenance where they don't use AI in their job. In other areas, they might. I was there. Like I said, I've seen it, I understand it, but I don't use it in my job. Maybe if I went back into a classroom, I would. So again, we felt left out, we felt defeated before we ever even started. We do appreciate the efforts the board has made to recognize our work, including the protection of benefits, commitment to consistently in raises in our benefits. Unfortunately, in some areas, it's still very hard. I know there's a lot going out there. We have inflation, gas prices, food prices, and things are not going down. Prices keep going up. With the passage of last year's bond, many of those responsible for putting those funds to good use will help our classified employees, especially in our facilities and our maintenance. However, we still need to prioritize these areas and make sure we have personnel and positions to keep our facilities safe, clean, and well maintained. And I know we are doing that. I know we had our slides where it showed where our bonds and what is going on with our measure. And we are very thankful. And we know there are steps in there that will help and will keep our facilities and our maintenance workers very busy. Classified has given so much of our time and efforts. And for what? To cut another position, to add more work on their plate for little pay? Let's see if we can do 16 hours of work in an 8-hour day. I applaud our secretaries at our schools. Our secretaries do not get enough. They work so hard, and especially at the beginning of the school year, with everything that is going on, who do we go to? We go to the secretaries. Those principals lean on those secretaries. Without those secretaries, we would be lost. We are so fortunate to have a new secretary at LAE who is so overwhelmed, but her presence and her smile keep us going, knowing that she will learn the position. We need to make sure we have instructional support, personnel in place to assist our teachers and students. We need training. We need training. You can't train assistants in one day. You can't train a secretary in one day. I know that teachers get trained, not a lot, but they do have a training day to where they go over certain things. We need that for classified, especially in new positions. And it seems like we are always hiring new assistants in each area. Once in the classroom, the teacher will do their best to help their assistants, but the kids are already there. It's so you're trying to say, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. But when you have students there, and especially in moderate to severe, when you have someone in a wheelchair, you can't do the training. They already have to know. They have to know what to do. You can't say, oh, excuse me, hold on, I need to train you in this. So again, we do need training. In my role, working with all elementary students, I see the value of classified, what they bring to our schools each day. I trust you will do as well, and you will continue to take the steps to ensure us to have a well-supportive classified staff. We are always in need, noon duties, assistance. We are always in need in other areas. They come and go. We have to come up with a plan to keep our assistants. I think if not only with raises, but with training, we need to be effective in training. We have so many of these people who come into our schools without any training. And then we stick them in a classroom and expect them to know what to do. It's not going to happen. Just like with the secretary at LAE, she is doing the best she possibly can. But with a 2-day training, she has so much to learn. And she is doing the best that she possibly can. And she's going to be a great secretary to the principal. But without efficient training, it's hard. Just like with many of our other positions. I'm lucky that I've been in this role for 19 years, that I see what is going on and that I know what I am supposed to do. But even that changes every day as the enrollment either increases or decreases. And right now, I'm thankful that our enrollment is up. I see how many kids are at VOE. I know we have 563 kids there because I see those kids when they come to PE, and there are 32 kids in those classrooms. And we are managing to teach them some sort of physical education to keep them moving. So we do have a program. I hope our enrollment keeps going up as things keep going on and people move up here. And I know with the measure and with the bond that our facility and our maintenance workers will keep working. But there is so much to do, and we would just like your support. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to 9.0, reports and presentations. 9.1, governing board members. Bill, can we kick this off, please?
That means I get to say, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to all of our staff. Welcome back to our students. It's a secret, but Molly's here and she actually is our student rep too. So
She's not Scott Kraft.
What that? She's not Scott Kraft. That's that. But welcome back, everybody. It's every year when we begin the year, it's such a special experience. And we've been to a couple of the back to school nights already. We've been out there as trustees, willing and available to converse. Some of that's obviously with staff people. That's also opportunity for us to converse with parents and family members. And so we will be at all of our back to school nights, and there will be trustees present and available for anyone to talk to. And that, as I just touched on, includes staff as well as parents and students. And so, right, conversations that we've had already in the first two. I just gotta say, it's also really, for me, just special to see all of our principals and assistant principals that are here as well tonight. Our new teams that are here. So lots of good things. So it's good to see all of you here, and I appreciate each one of you. For me, CSEA, I cannot separate CSEA and RTA. You're all important. Everybody. So, and I'm not going to go down the list because I know I'll forget somebody and then I'll get in trouble. But everyone on staff really matters. And I was just thinking that as we're coming into this year, this is an opportunity for students to begin again. They start, in a sense, with a clean slate. They start with no points for or against, and they have the opportunity, especially some of us maybe have reached a point where we need to make some changes, and this gives us that opportunity. But in reality, that same thing is true for all of our staff too. We begin new, we begin fresh, and that includes not just our new people who have joined us, but for everybody. And so welcome back. I also want to make just a couple of comments about the career and college fair. Stephanie, I think I got that right, is September 25th. And hopefully the public hears about this. There are opportunities to present, and that would be a great place for you to be with a table. Okay, so the community has opportunities to present their career opportunities, college opportunities, all at the career fair that's coming up September 25th. I know you're saying, Bill, that's a long ways away. No, it is not. So getting the word out now, and I encourage the participation. Students will be there, but there's still opportunities for more businesses as well to be represented. I do want to say just a word. I continue to be concerned about our deficit spending and what that means. We all know that we're still going to have to make reductions. I'm pleased that we had the budget committee that worked last year, and we'll be doing that again. And if those conversations and the involvement of all of our staff in that budget conversation is really vital and important. And unfortunate also because we have the challenges that the state doesn't seem to be funding everything that we need to be funding. And so concerns about where we go financially. How do we support our staff financially the way we would like to, with the limitations and restrictions, and then the fact that we're already in deficit spending. We're going to reach a point, and this is really a serious point, where the county could say, okay, you're not qualified. You can't do this. And then they start to take over certain things within our district. And we need to take the steps that we have to take. And so unfortunately, as was said last year, I believe, by Dr. Saviano, we'll have some tough decisions that we're going to have to make as we continue to proceed. I am thankful, along with CSEA, that we have not going down at this moment. Of course, we don't really know all of our numbers yet, but I'm thankful that we're not going down. I'm thankful that we have new programs like the preschool that has begun. And I'm thankful that adult education is coming just a couple of weeks. So lots of good things, and this is an opportunity to begin new. So again, welcome back, everybody.
Thank you, Bill. Cindy? I apparently don't have crap to say because he did it all. Just kidding. Welcome back, everybody. I'm excited. I was so excited to see everybody at the district breakfast. I forget that I feel like somebody's finger is on the fast forward button on a remote, and I forget that I haven't seen you for a couple of months and we have to catch up. So it was really great catching up with people that I hadn't seen since June. I want to thank all of the staff for getting the schools ready, to get them cleaned, to get them welcoming for our students, for the teachers getting their classrooms ready. I know that they love to have them all fresh, like Bill said, clean and fresh, and let's start again. So I appreciate all the effort that people put into the schools to welcome the students and the parents back. It is, as a parent, really great to walk into a school that just feels so welcoming, that has those little signs that everywhere in the elementary, outside of each classroom. It's just so cute. I want to thank our PTAs for putting on both the welcome back breakfast for the district and also the individual activities that they are doing at each school site. I have to say, Kimberly Chefs is kind of cray-cray in terms of how much she does, but I want to say that each school does their own thing to improve the culture and the learning environment for their schools. And I know they have great plans to continue to do so. So thank them for putting together a year-long program. I am excited about College and Career Fair. I'm not really sure what special makeup effects has to bring to the table, but I love having a table there to at least get the kids thinking about their post-secondary life. What do I imagine my life being out of high school? I mean, I still imagine, what am I going to do with my life? And so I just think it's really great, all the effort that Stephanie and the folks in the school puts into it to at least maybe get that little light bulb going on the first level. And then I'm just excited for this school year. I am always excited for this school year to start. So welcome back, everybody. Appreciate it. And thank you. Thank you for bringing the trees. They're so exciting. All right, thanks. Happy new school year, everybody. I'm going to try and not be too repetitive. I already agree with everything that Bill and Cindy said. Had a busy week or two in terms of getting back in the swing of things myself as far as school district stuff. And there's some positives that I'm incredibly excited about. And then I also do have some concerns. I'll start with this. The concern stuff is that it's been very frustrating the past several months in terms of the roller coaster that we've been on financially from the state and from the federal government. It's incredibly hard to plan. I think Jenny would agree with that. It's hard to know where we're at financially when there's a lot of money that's been promised, then taken away, and then promised, and taken away. So it has definitely been a challenge following the news with all of that. Having our power outage on the mountain a couple days ago, I hope that's not a precursor of what's to come. We've done a really good job, thank you, Jim, with getting generators going, but we are not completely there in the district. And we want to be able to make sure that we can have students get as much opportunity to be on campus, to be learning as possible. And so very, very appreciative that we do have the bond that has been passed at this point. It's going to take a while for us to be able to start seeing the fruits of our labor there. And I am concerned that our community may not necessarily always understand that it will be a process at this point. Even though the bond has been passed as of almost a year ago, a lot of the things, everything that we want to do with that money, first we need to get the money first, and there's a planning process. So in the coming days or weeks, while we see incredible high temperatures, we're not there yet as far as having solutions. And I just really am hopeful that people will understand that we are going to continue to do everything we can, but we're not there yet. Let me see here. In terms of things I'm excited about, repeating what Bill and Cindy said, have preschool, so cool. And then also adult education. So in terms of having offerings for our communities, we are basically a solution for everybody at this point, depending on what they're looking for educationally, and it's just going to continue to grow. Jessica Mazekas, who I think Harrison's here anymore, but he mentioned the health fair. She has up to her tricks again, and there's a program that she's put together at BOE called Rooted Together, really trying to encourage our community members to come in and play with our kids, spend time with our kids. So during recess, during lunch, during, just being able to have this process. So if you're interested in learning about that, I don't have the email right now. So actually go on the website, our district website, email me and I'll forward you the information. But this is a program to be able to try and help bring the community more into VOE. It's very exciting and it'll be great for kids. ELOP has been an incredibly successful program and it was already alluded to as we're looking at increasing that. And that is just going to be fantastic. So I love the fact that we're building on successes and we're creating new programs while we're also doing our darndest to be as fiscally minded as possible. We're creating more opportunities for students. And it's wonderful that we have other opportunities that might arise to be able to make sure that our students are getting more and more. Let me see here. Oh, I went and helped out at Scott's Lodge, went through things a couple days ago and happened upon the Starry Night Cafe, which is right adjacent to Photo. And it is beautiful. It looks like you're immersed in a Van Gogh little patio. So if you happen to be over at the high school, take a gander over by Photo. It's amazing. Yeah, the sky painted, the ceiling painted like the Starry Night from one of Van Gogh's paintings. And then you have, it's like the cafe and it's just really absolutely amazing. So I encourage you to check that out. And let me see here. Yeah. Oh, and thank you, Rotary. Yes, Cindy just shared with me. Yes, of course, Rotary donated the bistro tables. So as Crystal mentioned at BOE's back to school night, kids are already, I guess, last school year, we're already going and hanging out at the cafe there, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So there's really phenomenal things happening on our campuses. So at the first day of school, I was helping out. Yes, the chefs asked me to help out with PTA and I was there and it was lovely to see first day of school activities going on and to see the love that's on that campus. And I'm sure it was echoed everywhere throughout the school district. Kids so excited to see each other, kids so excited to see teachers as bus drivers, all the, and the love and the excitement. Yes, some of the students were incredibly nervous. There were some FPH students who were waiting for their bus and it was just lovely to see the older kids comforting the younger kids, all of just the love that was apparent and on so many different layers. PTA and other community members helping out, the teachers there to greet students as they're arriving. So many different really cool things that just shows time and time again how much love there is in this community and just how much we're doing right. And just wanted to express my appreciation to staff, to community, to everybody that we are doing so much for our students. We can do more. But just to recognize how much we already are doing, and I really am optimistic about this coming school year. We can't do enough for our staff. We don't have the money enough to be able to do everything that we want to do. However, we can do it to make sure that they know that they're appreciated and they're valued. We need to keep on doing that while we try to take care of their needs as well. And I believe that our across the board up here, we want to be able to make sure we're doing what we can to support the folks that are loving on our kids. So thank you. I'm going to end it on that.
Madam President, will make an addendum?
Yes.
I forgot to make a comment. We're at the beginning of the school year. Red means stop.
Yes.
Red means stop. Pass the word to community members. Red means stop. Yellow buses with red lights blinking, with red lights on the back, with a stop sign on the side means stop. It doesn't mean speed up and run fast by. It doesn't mean honk your horn. It doesn't mean avoid. It means stop. And we've already had dangerous situations and we have kids out in dangerous places. Red means stop. That also means in the driveways at the school, we need to be careful with wherever children are. Red means stop. Can everyone say that? Red means stop. Thank you.
So exciting. 9.2, Superintendent Dr. Paul Saviano.
So what does red mean?
Stop.
I learned it means stop.
Okay. Well, thank you all for being here tonight. I want to welcome back our students, families, staff, and community members. We're coming up for the 2025-26 school year this year. This year is filled with promise and excitement. I had an opportunity, started out with the welcome back breakfast, and our PTA provided a delicious breakfast, our entire staff, and we had district sponsors provide giveaways for our staff as well. So I want to thank those sponsors.
Also, we had the opportunity at PTA and REN to encourage everyone to join and support that organization. Really, those organizations, they support our students, and that's what we're looking for in terms of involvement. Lastly, I want to also talk about, opportunity. This provided an opportunity for staff to come together as one team. And that was kind of the whole purpose of the Welcome Back Breakfast. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the AI piece because of the fact that we as a district have to put our policies together around artificial intelligence. It may not affect all areas, but we have to, as a district, look to see how we're going to put guardrails around it for our students to learn, how we're going to look at, how it affects the jobs that we do every day. And then also, what is our policy around that in terms of student learning? So we've got some work to do there. There'll be an AI task force that'll be coming forward that we form. We want, a representative group to be part of that. So as we navigate that, help us develop and formalize our work policies. I also had the opportunity to visit all school sites on opening day. What I observed excited me the most was students, families, and staff coming together as one thriving community. And we've got an opportunity to see the excitement of students learning in the classroom, teachers excited to teach, and classified and certificate staff coming together to create a welcoming environment for our students. So I want to thank all of your efforts for that. It's very, very smooth transition opening day. And some of you may not have seen so smooth out there, particularly our principals who have been running around on campus, but you handled it extremely well. So I want to thank you for that.
Thank you for the donuts.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, that's another act. We had actually had a guest at CHEA. So, yes, a bear was the guest. So we called fishing game. We were able to get that moved out near the school location and handled it extremely well. Thank you, Ms. Marshall. I also want to thank everyone for coming together for this year. I'm excited about the 25-26 school year. We mentioned already the programs that we're initiating. We believe that we have future partnerships ahead, continuing to expand those partnerships and really focusing on, what matters for students. And as long as we stay focused on that, we're going to have exciting and we're going to have our students thrive and exciting school year. So thank you for your time today.
9.3 Personnel Services, an update of current status of personnel services. Shannon Hansen, Assistant Superintendent, Personnel, Pupil Services.
Good evening, board. Thank you for having me and present up the personnel report for August 14th, 2025. First of all, I would like to recognize the personnel team. Ms. Deborah Messina, she's Assistant Administrative Assistant to the Office of Personnel People and Risk Management. Morgan Haley, Coordinator Personnel, and myself. Did a wonderful job over the summer. It's very busy as you go through this report with us, and just how many people we onboarded this year and how much movement there was during this year. ELOP had a lot to do with that. So ELOP is definitely growing. Right now, current management position we have 13 certificated management positions, 8 classified. We have a total of 155 plus years, 155 certificated employees and 195 classified employees. And of the certificated management, we have two brand new ones, Ms. Zimmer and Mr. Robinson. So welcome to the RIM family. On a certificated side, we had a total of 15 resignations and retirees. 14 new hires, 5 transfers, and 2 change of status, which were promotions and contract changes, et cetera. I would like to go back and I would like to recognize Tracy Marshall as our interim principal at CHE as well. On the classified side, we had 11 resignations and retirees, 11 new hires, 9 transfers, and 5 change of status, which is promotions, contracts, changes, et cetera. So for the total of the summer from June 30th, I believe it is, June 30th to current, we had a total staff changes of over the summer of 72. Open positions as of today, we have our speech and language pathologist. We brought one back for a total of 2. We do have 1 virtual, so we are still looking for that 3rd SLP. So anyone out there who knows an SLP, have them contact us. We reflew the preschool coordinator position, but we may have a line in sight on one. So hopefully we can get that filled. We've flown that position several times, and we'll be extra picky on this one just because it is a new program. It's a very important program, and we just haven't found the right fit for Ram of the World. We're looking for an ESL adult school teacher, we're interviewing tomorrow, I believe. It was today. Interviewed today for our adult school, and I'm sure we'll be speaking with Ms. Montiel about the outcome of that. And we're looking for new duties and our instructional aid too. Those are our current positions that are being flown at this time. Just kind of go over some substitute staffing. All substitute positions are posted 3 to 4 weeks, just to kind of give the board an idea of how we post substitute positions within the personnel department. We do it at a 3 to 4 week cycle throughout the calendar year of every single month. Application screening process takes about a week to go through the applications, set up the onboarding, or the testing assessment process, the screening of the application, contacting them, and scheduling the testing. So that takes about a week. Once that week is up, we refly it back open for another 3 to 4 weeks cycle. The personnel department has every single year at the end of the school year, we go through and do a purge of the substitute list, because as we know, as administrative assistants on site, the last thing we want to do is contact someone on the sub list who hasn't subbed for us for 2 years. And so we want to make sure that the list is currently up to date. So what we started doing is purging at the end of every school year. And how we look at that is if you did not take a paycheck in that calendar month, we purge and you're removed from the list. They can always come back on, but they have to reapply just to ensure that the list is currently updated. So over the summer, we terminated 8 certificated and 15 classified employees due to the prolonged inactivity. And like I said, we purge at the end of the school year. This provides the most accurate list for us clerical staff on site. These are our current staffing numbers, substitute staffing numbers. We have 76 guest teachers, 30 instructional aides, 19 new duty, 11 custodian subs, 18 clerical, 8 health aides, 3 secretary, and 13 CNS, which is child nutrition services. Those are the most up-to-date current active members on the sub list. How do we promote our job openings? We continue to do it through EdJoin. We also, our management positions, we put them on the AXA website as well. And then our local papers, Parent Square, direct district email, hyperlink on the district website, and through our job fairs. Miss Phillips has invited me to the school to remember the high school, career, and college fair. So we're going to definitely be talking about the kids who are graduating. Hey, come on over to RAM. Apply to be a substitute, be great positions while you're working your way through college or working your way through anything. But come on over to Ram of the World Unified School District to be a sub. And so we'll be promoting at the college and career fair as well. Any questions? Yes, sir.
How many people excuse me, how many new duties are open, you know?
I believe this one is VOE 2. You need 2 now? So a total of 3. Three.
And related to that, Chairman, are any of the people that are on the substitute list potential candidates to fill those?
That's a great question, Dr. Mellinger. By the way, I need to point out these 2 ladies in the back. Majority of the people that get hired are from our sub list. So that's it. So if anyone's out there looking for a job within the school district, any school district, but especially the best way to get into the school district is start out as subs, get your foot in the door, as they would say. And then, so that way, you establish your work history within RIM. And as we know on sites, we know the subs like, hey, this has been a very valuable sub. And they interview, and a lot of our subs get hired on full time.
And number of instructional A2s that we might need, and what are the requirements briefly?
They're required the difference, we have two categories for instructional aids. We have instructional aid 1, which is our mild to mod support, and we have our instructional aid 2, which is our mod severe extensive support. Our extensive support require our IA2s are in the job description is diapering duties and other duties that the child may be experiencing under the IEP. That's within the job duties of instructional aid 2. Instructional aid 1, that is not in the job duties, however, they can perform that duty with a compensation that is agreed upon within the contract. And the current number of IA2s, Mr. Robinson, I'm putting you on the spot. Do you know that off the top of your head? No, how many do we need? 3.
A3, right?
Yeah,
Thank you.
give or take 5. But no, we're looking at 3 right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have a question as far as posting for our job openings? I'm wondering if we've ever tried or considered doing it on Facebook.
No, I have not in my tenure, Ms. Ridlin, I have not, that is something that I can speak with, our RT, Mr. Malone about. RT Tech, we're putting it onto our Facebook page and, other social media platforms. At least the link to the Ed Joint.
At least it looks the
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying we should or we shouldn't. I just did something that when you listed those different sources, thinking the way that people might be looking for jobs on the mountain, they probably wouldn't think to look in those locations. Except for maybe the newspaper, but yeah.
And it's a valid point, is putting the link onto social media. And the more message, the more ways we can send out the message, the better.
I want to see TikTok videos. I want to see you do TikTok.
You want to see, I'll put the Scott mascot on and I'll go to TikTok.
AI can help you do that, then it'd be really easy.
Are you gonna wear the kilts?
I will kill, only if I can hold the sword. I want the sword. Can I hold the sword? That sword in the office, the principal's office.
About that.
Okay, I'll talk to myself. Any other questions?
No, I just like the TikTok idea.
The TikTok idea. You're gonna hold me to that, I'm sure. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome.
9.4, educational services, an update on the current status of technology at Rim of the World Unified School District. Mark Malone, Director of Technology Services.
He's busy doing his
Got
job.
chats right here.
Good evening, board. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to give you a quick update on technology services. So, a quick disclaimer, and this is related back to AI, was I had a presentation made, done, completed, and I just wanted to see what AI could do to my presentation. So this afternoon, I took my presentation, dumped it into ChatGPT, and it spit out an even better presentation. So, when we think about AI, yes, it can be a problem, but it can also be a solution and a quick solution. So in my case, it was a quick solution. So go to the next page here. So the role of the IT department,
Which one are we seeing?
ChatGPT.
yeah, you're seeing the ChatGPT one. So
I'm excited.
it's good. It's good. But in some ways, again, AI is not the answer to everything. So there was some polishing that I needed to do. So in any case, the role of the IT department is provide reliable devices for students and staff, maintain district network and classroom technology, support instructional software platforms, protect data to ensure cybersecurity, and partner with teachers, administrators, and families. Our number one mission is to make sure that that person, employee, family, student, whoever, has the best experience with technology for the school district. We don't want to put out something that makes it very difficult for them to maneuver. Our kids want to go on Aries and they want to see their grades. Parents want to see attendance. They want to see report cards. We want to give them the best option that we can for it. This summer, we implemented the online enrollment, which completely blew our minds on how many parents actually did it. I think at last 70% of our parents did online enrollment versus coming into the office. So that's an amazing thing. We've had a little bumps and glitches that we found out after the fact, but all in all, I think it's been a good experience.
Wow, Mr. Collins.
Anthem of every classroom right now. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is tickets. And IT, we run our day on tickets, really. We want to make sure that when a teacher, staff member, maintenance person, whoever puts in a ticket, we respond to it right away. We track them all for accuracy and accountability. It provides, or it prioritizes our day. Teaches us response times. If teachers are putting in the exact same ticket at every school, something's going on, right? Internet's down, we can't get into Aries. We can see that happening in real time, and we know, okay, now we need to go to the next level. And we want to make sure that nothing slips through the cracks. I tell the staff, you can email me, but my inbox, I start out the day with 50 emails in my inbox, but I can go into our ticketing system and only see 5 of them. So I know that those tickets will get done quicker without me going into my inbox and having to forward it into the ticketing system. So that's why we really use ticketing. We want to make sure that nothing slips through the cracks. This is just a quick flow chart of how the ticketing system works. The staff member will open a ticket. It's very easy. They just email an email address and it opens a ticket into our system. We verify the complaint with the person. Sometimes they're vague. Hey, this isn't working. So we go back to now we're emailing back and forth. What isn't working? What's the error? Can you send me a screenshot? Things like that. So we're verifying the complaint. I probably should have put in there. And again, another reason why AI might not be the best fit was it's myself and I have 2 field techs, Charles Puritan and Lori. Charles does secondary schools and departments, and Lori does our primary schools. So when we receive a ticket, we verify the complaint. I will assign the ticket to either Charles and Lori. And if it's something that they can't figure out, or they need help from me, or it's something bigger than they can do, I get involved and we try to fix the ticket as quick as possible. Then we close the ticket, we verify that the problem has been fixed and it's closed, and we go on to the next ticket. I think maintenance does the same thing. It's just verify the complaint, fix it, and make sure it's resolved. Very simple. I handle more tickets than maintenance, so I'm just saying, there's no rivalry. So, no rivalry. So, I'm just saying.
We have more errors than.
I wouldn't go that far, Dr. Manager, I wouldn't go that far. So these were our trends in 24-25 last school year. Total tickets were 1,600. How many, Jen? 1,200? 12 good ones. No, I mean, how many tickets did you do? Okay, so we're way ahead of you. Our and I'm just giving Jim a hard time, sort of. So there's a breakdown of how our tickets came in and how were they resolved and what the topic of issue was. So device issues, we've got 6,000 plus devices out there, so we know we're going to have problems with devices. They're always number one. Account access, a lot of those are just password issues. Students forgetting passwords, employees forgetting their passwords or access to an account that we need to make sure that they have access to. Classroom tickets are usually right around here. Our teachers are great. Our teachers, when you give them a computer and show them what it can do, and they hook it up to that smart board, you know what, you just let them go and they're going to do their thing. It's great. It's actually pretty incredible. I'll spare you the story. And just other tickets, 245, those just didn't belong into anything. So those are just probably ones that I needed to take care of, that because I write my own tickets and put them in to remind me what I need to do. So we had 1,645 total tickets, and our average resolution time is 2.5 days, and those are for our longest tickets. If it's a password reset, we can usually do that in 15 minutes. So it all depends on what the ticket is.
I was gonna ask a bit about the average resolution times. I imagine that you have a few that go on for quite a long time. That most of them, what's the?
We
typical?
can, if we need to do like an upgrade, and I'll put that ticket in. I will most of the time try to do network operational upgrades after school's out, after everyone's gone, in case I have to take the whole school down to do something like that. So that's just why I got in there that long.
How about if somebody does have a pretty standard issue, what typical response time is theirs in terms of from when they make a complaint to when it's resolved?
Well, again, it depends on the ticket.
Okay.
So like right now, a lot of our tickets coming in are password resets for students. We can do grade level resets. I know our elementary schools, the teachers, like the 3rd grade teacher will say, hey, Mark, can you reset all of my students, all 3rd grade passwords? Because, the kids sometimes forget their passwords over summer. So we'll do that. But we really try to get anything that's in the classroom fixed. And I hate to say that, but that's just right where we are. We want to make sure that that teacher, that student is not being hindered because of something else. We want to make sure that they can get in technology, that we're not having a problem right then and there. Anything for maintenance, we kind of push way back.
Gotcha.
But
it is typical for somebody to have to wait 2.5 days to do.
I really try not to. He's after me, so he can do whatever he wants. Okay.
It's so quiet. I don't see him
I know.
saying anything to you.
Jim's a great guy.
Oh.
So, summer projects. So summer is a great time for IT because no one's around really. So we can get quite a bit done over the summertime. So here's just a snippet of things that we do. And we start this the day after school ends, or we run out of summer. So we do, we check in and refresh 5,000 Chromebooks. We literally go Chromebook to Chromebook and verify the inventory on our end. and we're starting an inventory and destiny for teachers as well. We wipe every single Chromebook down. We wear gloves. We wipe them all down, clean them up so they're ready for the kids when they come back to check them out or to use them in the carts. We update 375 staff laptops and desktops. We update 900 iPads. I do various network upgrades around the district that can't be done in a production environment during school, so we have to take those offline for a couple days to run those updates. We do server patching, network infrastructure, security cameras, and firewall upgrades. We are upgrading 2 computer labs at the high school in the next few months. And this summer, we provisioned 700 new Chromebooks for our 3rd through 5th graders. So very busy summer, very busy summer. Some in here, security enhancements that we've updated not only this summer, but last school year. Some of our programs require multi-factor authentication. So 2-factor authentication to get into some of these programs. We updated some of those for those employees. Our firewall, of course, web content filters. We expanded some security cameras coverage in high traffic areas outside around some of our portables and our ELOC areas. And of course, every year we conduct cybersecurity awareness training through Public Works that all staff members have to do. And I hate doing this, but I'm going to mention Jim's department. And it's funny because people always think that security and computers is something that you do on a computer, but this past summer, RIM was rekeyed. RIM High School was rekeyed. So people don't think that that is an enhanced security that doesn't necessarily go into technology, but it actually does, because we don't want people coming onto our campus, jacking into our systems, going onto our Wi-Fi, trying to do something that they shouldn't be doing. So, and I say it simply in the simplest terms, but rekeying a school is a big step to keeping not nice people out of your network. So I'll give them that.
Yeah, I was getting concerned about that department.
Now, of the key department?
Maintenance.
I'm very concerned about maintenance. Some other summer 2025 projects is our 2-to-1 devices for our students in 3rd through 12th grade. We know this school year we're starting all students from 3rd grade to 5th grade are now going to get Chromebooks. It was always secondary. Now we're bringing in 3rd through 5th. We did a checkout at VOE on their back to school night. It was a big success. Next week is CHE and LAE. So we're excited to get those computers into those student hands. So it's kind of a cool thing. Part of that is we send an electronic form home, just telling the parents, hey, you're getting this device, and the students know how to take care of it, and the parents know how to take care of it. You know, sometimes we have this mentality, oh, this computer isn't ours, we're just going to trash it. But, you know, it is yours, you're taking it home, you're responsible for it. Less than 40 of our Chromebooks that went home needed repair. So that is almost half of what it was the year before. So we're very excited about that. When a student gets a Chromebook, they get the Chromebook, the charger, and a hard case that the Chromebook goes into. So we always tell the students, make sure you, even though it's at home, on your desk at home, or wherever it's at, make sure you put it in the case just to protect it. And our repair turnaround is typically 7 days. Now, if a student brought his or her computer to us and said, hey, I dropped it, the screen broke, we're going to give them a Chromebook right then and there. We're not going to make them wait. But our turnaround is to get that Chromebook that was broken back into our inventory within 7 days. This is the fun slide. Looking ahead, bullet number 1, our E-rate is fully funded and we're in a new cycle. So this is good news for us because we get over $500,000 towards network infrastructure for the next 5 years. So very excited. This is a new cycle every 5 years we get. So, and I think we're actually gonna get some more money. I talked to Cindy this year, who's our E-rate consultant, and they bumped up a percentage. I don't remember the name of the actual percentage, but based on that, we're gonna get a bump in our allotment of, so excited. So again, E-rate upgrades, I can do Wi-Fi, firewall, and network. That's what E-rate is for. It's to get that device onto the internet. Okay. Measure E, of course, we're excited about that. I know there's some aspects of Measure E security technology that's involved with that, so this is exciting. We've been talking for years about voice over IP, bring our phones out of the 1960s and 70s and bring them into a new era of I can hear you now, things like that. Some things that I would like to move forward with instead of on-premise servers where we have 14 servers now in our district, we can move a lot of those into the cloud and those have backups if our power goes out or if our link goes down, we have backups to that. And that saves us money in the long run because our servers are coming to the age when we need to start purchasing new servers, and servers aren't cheap. So this could help us. And next summer is our teacher refresh. Every 3 years, we refresh teachers' laptops. So this will be exciting for the teachers next school year, but something to look forward to. And that's it with my presentation. Any questions?
Mr. Malone?
Yes.
How many Chromebooks have to be retired in? What's their life cycle, if you will, for the Chromebooks?
So right now we are recycling Chromebooks from COVID. So 2019-ish. The new Chromebooks, if we, the third through fifth grade Chromebooks that we bought this year will last us to 2031. So they have a 6 to 7 year lifespan before they turn obsolete. So we're at the midst of COVID in 2019, we're starting to now retire those, but we had enough in inventory to hold us over for the next maybe year. But at some time, we're going to have to start thinking about a refresh with those too. And it can be a very gradual refresh because we were buying them at all different times during 19, 20, and 21. So.
That's actually what I was hopeful of, was a
Yeah.
more gradual
Yeah.
refresh rather than, we've got to do all of our elementary.
Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
9.5, business services, an update on facilities. I think this is revenge time. Summer, current, and future projects. Chief Business Official Jenny Haberlin and Director of Maintenance and Operations, James Zimmer.
As maintenance comes to the foreground, I do want to thank Mr. Malone for doing extensive presentation in closed session on our cybersecurity, taking my notes from a conference and literally answering everything in my notes. And I learned a big lesson there to compile my notes before I just send them off. But it was very extensive, his presentation to us in closed session, and I think it made us all feel really great about what is in place at Brent to protect us. So thank you for answering the 5 million notes that I took.
Hey, thank you very much for having us tonight, Jenny Haberlin and Jim Zimmer.
The infamous Jim Zimmer.
Wow. I was gonna say payback, right? So, we're gonna start off with just talking a little bit about our facilities update. I'm going to just start us off and then throw it to Jim. So education code requires us to spend 3% of our general fund expenditures on routine repair maintenance. That transfers that out of the base of LCFF dollars, and it's kind of re-benched at the end of each fiscal year.
So, and that requirement enables us to also be able to tap into matching funds when we have a bond sale. So, because without, because the expectations that districts, you contribute to, the routine repair, deferred maintenance of their buildings. And to kind of have that obligation on the district if the state's going to give you, your funds. It is auditable, and Jim's budget is part of our annual audit as well, to ensure that compliance and allowable expenditures for that. And so right now, our estimated expenditures are about just under 1.5 million. But we're still closing the books. So, and we're still going through all of our accounts. And there still could be, so, right now, we're nearly done. Those come to you in September. And so, the bill 24-25 is estimated. And then, for 25-26, it was part of the initial budget. I just noticed some things there, because supposed to fill that in, but I can go over that if we need to, and then September 15th. And then a final required contribution is certified at the end of as we close the books. This is just a snapshot of 6-year expenditure history in the routine repair maintenance account. It's resource 8150 if anybody's interested in the SACS account number screen, and you can look it up on the CDE website. And then that's by major category of how we have spent our dollars. And the classified personnel would be people, like Jim and Browns and our maintenance staff. Books and supplies, that's that's just the term of the 4,000 range, but that would be the non-capital supplies. Services and other expenditures, a lot of that is when we have to contract out. And we would have someone come in and do carpet for us. We would have someone come in and do a roof patching job, and so that's the category that those relate in. And capital outlay is permanent additions to our site work, our buildings, our infrastructure, or pieces of equipment over the capitalization threshold of $5,000. When we talk about work orders.
Work order. Well, I didn't know we can make our own work orders. So now that I know that, by next year, I'll probably double that. But this year.
I was thinking.
Yes. This year we had a total of 1,024 work orders that we completed. There was 56 that were submitted, but we declined them back to the sites. And then we have 34 right now that are still overlooking. And then that does not include any of the contracting rebates. In our department, we have 4 maintenance. We have 1 groundsman.
That printed on here, but it's not up there.
1 shared administrative secretary, and then myself. Our fleet, we have 1 truck, we have 1 small truck with a lift gate. We used to take all the materials back and forth to schools. We have a box truck, 2 trucks for CNS, 1 mill truck, 1 technology truck, 1 ELOC. The Rim High School roof has been completed as far as our contract. We ended up doing about 3/4 of the entire school, the new roofing. It does have a 40-year warranty and no annual maintenance. So keep that 40-year warranty. Projects in summer. LAE. We did a new irrigation backflow and a booster pump for the fields. There was asphalt repair done in the main parking lot. We had 2 new parking lot lights installed in the main parking lot. We did a paint repair of the boys and girls bathroom, one of them that was really bad. They got new fencing and gates in the back parking lot, going back to E-lot. They got a new flooring in the kitchen. And they got a new emergency portable generator that will run the entire site. And then ELOP, this is gonna be the same for every site. Because we got 3 new portables that ELOP took over. All of them got new HVA systems. Roof replacements are in progress right now, as soon as they can get some time. You got ramps repaired, new rain gutters, and all new LED interior lights. THC,
Yeah. On those roofs, are you doing the same material that
the
was
same exact
in
material.
high school?
And with the HVAC systems running, I know one of the problems that we've got in terms of putting in universal AC is our electrical system not necessarily being able to support it. Are there any concerns with having that additional load on our systems?
No, because it's not on our generator.
It's on the
The
generator.
ELOP portables are not on school generator.
They're not on the school system. They're on
They're on their
separate.
own separate electrical meter,
Okay,
but won't affect us.
but I don't want another VOE overload.
Near what?
Yeah, yeah.
So CHE, we redid the C train for them. We put in a new C train for all the emergency supplies. We ended up having to replace the backflow for the main water line. And they ended up getting a new snow school. Mountain High School, new asphalt for the staff parking. They got a new gate and a buzzing gate, get into the school now. They repainted all the portable ramps. The main water line had a repair done. The lunch area / cafeteria got a plumbing repipe. And then they just got 3 new emergency generators installed. We got 2 up and running. We got one that has a little issue from the factory. So we're getting that looked at right now.
One thing too, a lot of these, when we see the new kitchen flooring, that's one circumstance too, where, Jim and Lisa Rhodes work together. Because with use of some of our kit fund and excess cash reserves with Fund 13, Jim was able to help facilitate the work and with Lisa and the vendor. But we were able to co-fund, those floors, with use of the state grant dollars we received for kitchen infrastructure funds. And those expired in June, so we fully utilized those funds. We did hear that we're going to, get a small other round next year. And that would help, and it's to help, just with the infrastructure and kitchen equipment.
Rim High School. We repaired and resurfaced the 300 parking lot. We had to have the main water line replaced under the old gym with a huge flood over the weekend. The team room had a new hot water heater and repipe was done. We got a new cafeteria door. We ended up having to replace a leaky gas line over by the CTE classrooms. And then we replaced all the lock sets in the entire school with new keys.
I haven't had time to do much of this. No, just kidding. Just kidding, Jeff.
Don't do that.
And the repeat, that was another co-funded situation with use of our Cox grant.
VOE, we replaced the kinder fence with a privacy fence. We installed new curbing in the kinder area to stop the erosion that was happening. They got a new snow blower. And they also, we are in the process of doing their emergency sea trains. MPH, they got all new fencing around the back of the school. They got new kitchen flooring. We have purchased all new locks for that school, just haven't had them installed yet. We had roofing repairs done over the summer. We dethatched and fertilized their ball field. And then their emergency sea train actually just got ordered today. So we will be working on that and then replacing all the stuff inside of it. And right now their generator transfer switch is on order because it blew up a couple weeks ago.
Jim, when you repeat, or actually every year, you take the keys back every year from staff?
We have not taken them back yet because we're waiting. The padlocks were on back order.
So the staff still is using their old key for the padlocks. Once we get the padlocks onto the new key system, then we'll collect all the keys.
Okay, and a couple of things we wanted to just talk about that were kind of other projects outside of necessarily the repair and maintenance of the facilities. Is this summer, we did a custodial lead pilot who worked under Mr. Zimmer over the summer. Current custodian went ahead and worked and looked at things for if there are supplies, some efficiency, and to start our process in getting standard cleaning standards. We're having a debrief for that next week on how that went and what progress we can be made to help have some uniform procedures, some standard procedures, some common practices, some joint projects that we can, incorporate, in the future doing that. So, in our perspective right now, that was a successful program, having someone to help facilitate the needs, especially if there was, supplies that needed to be ordered that maybe weren't or known about or special projects. It ties in a little bit with what's going to be happening in June. You authorized a contract with MGT for an efficiency study. MGT, as you know, are going to be looking at maintenance grounds, custodial, and transportation. And we've already, over the last month and a half, 2 months maybe since that contract was approved, we've been sending them a lot of data requests. We've had kickoff meetings. They're going to be looking at our costs, our structure, our work orders, our routes, our handbooks, or some that there's no handbook that we need to start working on. And we already have a draft custodial handbook that they helped us create, and we'll just tailor to our needs. The consultant who's working with us was a 30-year resident of RIM. She went through our system, K-12. She lived up here for 30 years. She's has been a lot of different roles. She's currently with MGT, but she's been director of maintenance, she's been a director of transportation, and she's been a custodial foreman. So she's coming with and she knows the mountain. She knows, why maybe one bus route. I'm going to get a little tangent here. Why it might look good on paper, but it's not good in reality because of the type of street or the directional or turnaround spot. And also to have that comfort and of understanding that things might be a little bit different in a mountain rural region than perhaps like an LA Unified. So they're doing a site week the week of August 25th, where there'll be meetings and interviews and show sites with Jim. Put a work order in for that for your time. Well, we're gonna milk that one, right? So, and like I said, the draft custodial procedure handbook. So, it'll be nice to see, and then with a plan, October, November board presentation by GT. Okay. There you go.
Some of our ongoing routine projects that we have to do every summer. Took care of all the fire inspections, including the certification of all the fire extinguishers district-wide. Annual fire alarm testing, along with the sprinkler testing that we have to have done every year. Meeting with contractors, having all the generators serviced district-wide. Site inspections with Cal State vendor and county partners. We continue to surplus and scrap old metal as well as old vehicles that we put up on auction. We do preventative maintenance with the filter replacements. And then we respond to big and small break fixed issues as they arise. With tickets. A lot more this year.
Yeah. Okay, adjacent, but in addition to the routine and repair maintenance of facilities, just a touch base on where we are at with some of the Measure E and facility master plan updates. We have been working on with our K-12 partners, Brett, who did our original facility master plan. As all the legislation is worked out with Prop 2, he is kind of doing the necessary tweaks in our plan to make it fully compliant so we can fully apply and receive state funding when there's funding available for the matching plan. We've had a kickoff meeting with our architects and district team. We started preparing timelines and looking at committee development as we do stakeholder engagement committees and construction committees and different administrative committees. There might be probably, there might be a committee, more specific just for Jim's world when there's boots on the ground and then some planning and some engagement. So we're working on that timeline. We did have a meeting yesterday with the team, our financial consultant for the state matching dollars, because, as, what can he apply for as we prioritize project, what other monies are out there that can complement and we can go after outside of the state matching funds. So we had a discussion about what other monies based on some work that Jim will have to do with the architects can we see if we're eligible for it. And then we have the board study session on September 11th. So, architects will be here so we can start talking about project development and start working on those plans in a timeline. And where do we start? Jim's working doing site walks next week with the architects. And then we're also in the process of all the financing and the rating work that goes on for us to sell the bonds. Dr. Sevillano and I have 2 meetings on our calendar for bond rating prep and an actual bond rating call with Standard & Poor's for the district to get their credit rating. We've done our financial portfolio, and then we got another data request today that Mr. Wright in my office and I have set some time to work on next week for the when we go to sell the bonds. They'll need to do some, put a sales agreement, not sales agreement, but like a secondary portfolio for that an issue statement, I think it's called. And then, so we're working on that with a hopeful of a sale of our bonds in the beginning of October with a close in by October 15th. And then that'll go through the auditor controller's office to fund. And we can start working on that. That resolution will come to you in September after all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes that we've been keeping busy with.
We mentioned the state matching dollars from the bond election this year, right? We're talking about the statewide bond.
Yeah. Now it's anticipated that, that money's pretty much already gone. And then there'll be some residual money as projects are certified. So even though the state won't have any more of their bond monies left, we still want to get in line, similar like we did with Measure W. And we want to get in line for those dollars because at some point the state will sell another bond and we would then get, it might be 2 or 3, 5, 7 years later that with Measure W that will get reimbursed for that project. And then that'll fund a future project. So we'll be using Measure E funds first, even if there's a matching component. If the state approves those DSA plans, and then our matching eligibility is approved, then we'll get reimbursed later. That those reimbursed dollars will fund a different project.
If I may also just there's going to be some set asides as well in Prop 2 for specific projects. So CTV is one of them, TK classrooms is another. So there's opportunities there to possibly leverage additional funding if we take on those projects.
And there are some other possible grants available there.
We had a discussion yesterday with the eligibility for TK expansion. And that'll be part of the site walks yesterday to see how many Title 15 rooms we have, how many we'll need based on enrollment. we'll have to do some type of either internal or external or with a consultant led enrollment demographic study as part of that in the future. And then we'll look at the CTE grants and then they'll just keep their eye open as what else can we tap onto. And another slide, the next slide, I'll go into possible some other funding options. So with that, the LC, the return, the I got tongue-tied there. The routine repair and maintenance is funded by the contribution from LCFF base. But then we also have some other funds. We have Fund 25, which is developer fees. And right now we have a current balance of just under $1 million in that fund. It's highly, highly restrictive, and it's based on, it can only be used for certain projects. It can though be part of a modernization, but we would want to get our legal counsel with our funding consultant together to make sure we do that correctly to be able to leverage those dollars. We did that. I wasn't in my seat at the time, but I just was still, of course, at the district with Measure W to utilize Fund 25 with some modernization work, and that was done by board resolution at that time. So we'll investigate how to tap into that money since it's highly restrictive. And we have residual amount in Fund 40. That was the remaining amount from the roof, and that's capital project. So that's as long as it's a capital project, it's pretty discretionary within that category. So that could even be a break fix for Jim also outside of a Measure E project. And then of course, depending on how many bonds we sell, which we'll decide, through the rating process. It looks like it will be a not to exceed a number of 18 million. Yeah.
Some questions.
I do have a couple of questions. Going back to the high school's roof, 75% of the roof was fixed or, new 40-year guarantee. What about the remaining 25%? Are we feeling pretty good about that in terms of not raining indoors and all of that?
The best sections that we had, so that's why we left the 25% that we.
So, and is that something we'll need to revisit sometime to be able to get the rest, assuming that this 75% is a good solution?
Yes.
Finishing it out, okay. And I feel like I should remember this, but I'm not. The kinder play area at CHE, it's good to go? Okay, fantastic. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That were my two questions.
Just looking forward to the increase in the tickets. I'm
Keep your eyes
excited.
open. You might start
Excited
like that.
about a year from now where we're at. It's
We're gonna
great.
double it.
Can't wait to see these two presentations again.
I'm putting a ticket for a 65-inch TV in my office.
There you
It's
go.
going in the lawn. Thanks, Jeff.
That's technology.
Oh, that's technology.
Thank you.
Thank you.
9.5, business services. Oh, actually, that was what we just did. A lot of it. Okay, 10.0, discussion information items. 10.1, legislative and advocacy report, fiscal impact none.
It's really quick. Sandow's haven't met yet, and CSBA Legislative Committee meets tomorrow in a lengthy Zoom, 9:30 to 12:30. Do have to say the federal monies, you're right, Jordana, it's like a roller coaster. What was appropriated by Congress was clawed back, then it's given back, then it's still in for the next fiscal year in flux as to what is going to be funded and what's not going to be funded and where it's going to be managed from. So there's a lot of uncertainty, especially in regards to Title II, Title III, Title I, blah, blah, blah. And so that unfortunately, trickles down to the sites because we know that the sites you have a significant amount that they use from Title I. Then the state as we heard with our workshops, we're expecting revenue to be difficult in the next several years. So with that, CSBA is fighting the maneuver of the governor to hold back that $1.6 billion. They are fighting it. We'll see how far it goes. They think it's an illegal maneuver of the Prop 98 monies. So there is that just sitting there. Hopefully that will be resolved. And hopefully in the next proposed budget by the governor in January, no more maneuvers, no more suspension because of 98, because then we just lessen that base of 98. So our budget outlook at both the state and federal level is very uncertain. And as such, we do, like Bill says, we need to really focus on our deficit spending, on being conservative in our outlook, because we just don't know what the revenue is going to look like for the state. So just putting it out there, conservative fiscally, and work on our deficit. And that's it. I just, since Jordan's not here, I was just going to say, are we good to go publishing our platform?
I was wondering, I believe so, but I think that it might be an idea for us if there's nothing urgent. I have two thoughts. One is, Senator Ochoa is going to be having her, town hall next month. And I was wondering whether that was something that we might want to see if she might be available to meet with us before or after for us to be able to possibly have a discussion with her. So I wanted to throw that out there in this discussion. And it would behoove us to have our platform published before that point. I just questioned whether with the three of us here, whether we should go ahead and publish it or wait until possibly when we do, see if we could take 5 minutes on our September 11th meeting to revisit it before we go ahead with that.
Yeah. And then put it on the nice paper with the little logos and make it all spiffy. And if we want to do anything with Senator Ochoa on the actual town hall day, we should contact her now.
So which I wanted to see what you guys thought about that.
That's fine. We just need to get it on the schedule. Do you want me to reach out?
Okay, great.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. You with that though? Look at us. We have consensus, darn it.
On a discussion information item.
I'm done.
Okay. Okay, and moving to 11.0 discussion action items, 11.1. Wait, I'm sorry, I went right past that. So sorry, 10.2 discussion on district core beliefs, fiscal impact none. And I see some goodies, it's right side progress.
Yes, if we could have this way, so I provide kind of a timeline in terms of how we got here, in terms of core beliefs, just quickly, and then the board can discuss the core beliefs. Ms. Whiteson?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have some handy dandy core beliefs. Those come in print and digital. If you'd like to send one out to share that your friends have been impactful, aligned, or future focused, right? So those are a few there. To kind of go over the timeline, and I'll just stay here if that's all right. And if you don't mind clicking for me there, Mark. But on that first slide there, you do see the core beliefs and development of the impactful actions. Again, looking at how we share our actions and those connections unlock student potential. How do we align, right, on all the systems? And then how are we looking at future focus? So as we approach different things, no matter what they are, whether it's tech or facilities,
Or tickets.
preschool or tickets, right? We want to think about how are they impactful, aligned, and future focused. So we have that through line in the district. But looking back at the history, you have a couple of presentations in front of you. One of them was from August 15th of last year. So that's when we gave that first presentation after the July workshop to give an update on how we came to that workshop, working with supporting inclusive practices and building our cultural beliefs turned to core beliefs. and how we looked at some survey information from across our district at that workshop to come up with those 3 core beliefs. And essentially, as we looked at some of the beliefs that we held in our district through that survey, our team of staff who were invited across our district to join in that workshop, they created those 3 and then those statements underneath the 3 based on that workshop that day. So if you kind of click again there, this will give you a timeline journey from start to current, right? So that inclusion summit that happened in the spring of 2024, which then led to the core beliefs workshop in July of 2024. We opened that up with a welcome back in August of 24, sharing those core beliefs. Board presentation was August 15th of last year. Then we went to the inclusion summit again, where they demonstrate the core belief process and how that process in terms of looking at the shift in thinking pyramid in terms of current culture to the transition. And then the inclusion steering committee, we include that because a lot of our core beliefs that we're creating as a district are also tied into a process with our inclusion steering committee and creating an inclusion steering committee core beliefs and missions. And then as you fast forward to this year, January to March, we worked through the inclusion steering committee. Ongoing, this has been coming back to our district and site leadership teams. And then May, we had another inclusion summit. And then we did another kickoff this year through our leadership retreat and our welcome back on the core beliefs. And that brings us to today's board presentation, just as a reminder of all the steps so far. So the next few slides you've seen before, so we won't stay too long on those because again, they kind of give you a deeper dive into the 24-25 work where the core beliefs were developed. And also just wanted to throw in there that Dr. Mellinger and I had an opportunity to share a little bit more detail on that at the May summit. And that was the state SIP summit. And we were able to share the highlights from our perspective as a district, as board members, as staff, and how we developed that work. So when you look at those 4, and as you click there, you'll kind of just see the highlights of how we went through a process. We've shared that process. That next one on November 1st of last year, we had that video. So I know a lot of teachers had shared that was a pretty full video. It started with those cards and people at every school site recognizing other teachers and staff on each school site. So it's kind of a cool video. If you'd like to see it, it's linked in the presentation. So check it out. So we can kind of click through those. Again, we created an inclusion mission statement as well, creating core beliefs and kind of a more focused realm in terms of our special services. And then for our outcomes this year, again, you saw that breakdown, our leadership retreat, our welcome back. We'll revisit these on our PD day this year. That'll be on Halloween, so October 31st. Right? Nothing scary about PD days. Right? They're exciting. Yeah. We'll keep going there. I included this slide, which was shared with us from the county, because as we look at core beliefs, we have to lean into sometimes discomfort to be able to find the change and find the transformation that we believe in. And what kept coming back was impactful. That everything that we did was meaningful for our students, across our staff, and again, building that community with our community through that trust. The aligned actions. When we look at how are we supporting a student, like we looked at last year with the portrait of a graduate, what does that look like every single year? What does that look like throughout our departments and how we build that through? And then of course, future focus, preparing our students for their future. Can you see the results pyramid and how we have to shift that thinking with new beliefs and experiences so that we can get those new actions that we desired? That kind of gives you the process of the actions there. And the stations, again, I know you've seen that slide before, how we went from the survey to looking at some of the difficult statements even at times to really refine down to those 3 core beliefs. And again, so important to note that our staff created those 4 beliefs. That's kind of a culminating picture there, lots of video clips. The one on the right is the video. If you wanted to ever watch that again, it really highlights, and you just see different staff members across RIM being highlighted for being one of those 3 core beliefs. And that was based on their own staff members submitting those cards. So our next steps, again, we continue this work. We continue to think about how we're impactful, aligned, and future focused with everything that comes our way.
So with that, we'll open for discussion.
Okay, so. How are you going to use this?
Yeah, so we've been using them already, and they started with, so before the November PD last year, we gave those out to the staff at all the school sites, and other staff nominated other people. So when we got those pictures of teachers, we had to kind of on the slide say, okay, I need a picture of this one. She got nominated, we got nominated to make that video. But also at all of our school sites, they all have their ways that they're demonstrating use of the core beliefs. And in fact, we shared them recently at our leadership retreat. I can give you an example of, if you go into Mountain High School, you're going to see they have the solar board and they have those cards up and they can recognize each other. And I know all of our sites do something or a version of that. And again, they're both available in print and in digital form. So if you want to send that digitally, you can do that as well.
So you're going to have these come out on some kind of annual basis, like we did that video, on a monthly basis, or just an ongoing?
I think it's ongoing and site specific, right? And how they're using it to support their core beliefs at the site aligned to the 3. Because that's continuous, right? Every single day we see actions that are aligned, impactful, and future focused. But even if you take away from, those 3 statements, right? We really think about what's impactful to a second grader, right? And our second grade teacher who's doing that every day. Right, and recognizing them, and again, our principal's doing a great job of doing that on a regular basis because it means the world to our kids.
And how are we utilizing this at the DO, the district office?
That's a great question. Again, that's something that we can circulate, and that's a good piece of feedback.
And lastly, what about maintenance and tech? Are they doing?
I was gonna do technology first, but now I'm feeling like maybe I need to do maintenance. I don't know. We love them all so much. I'll put a ticket in. Both systems. Yes. We'll see your answers first. Wow, okay. Future focus, yeah. I like that. Thank you.
I know this is a weird question, but we've had presentations before, even on presentations from you with a mission and vision statement, mission, optimized student achievement vision from the World Unified School District ensures that all students are college, career, and community ready, inspired to succeed to make positive contributions to our world. This is not what I remember, so have we massaged the mission statement? Or is this a mission statement? And I don't really care. I just know that this isn't the mission statement that we used to have. So have we modified it? And we just.
No, I don't think we've done anything new.
Because the mission statement used to be long and we talked about shortening it up. It didn't say optimize student achievement. So that's why I'm asking. I think it's great statement.
Yeah.
I'm just saying is that it's transition. It's different.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's Mark ran it to ChatGPT. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much for doing that.
Maybe the recommendation to bring back that. Take a look at that.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's very simple, but I was like, oh, somebody changed it. How fun is that?
And this mission was aligned to the instructional vision and mission, not the district as an.
Okay. Thank you.
This one came out, and for a long time, sorry, that was taking me a second to remember. We would call this the placemat. I don't know, some people thought it looked like a placemat, but we refined it down to fit within the placemat in terms of the instructional vision and how we're providing that inclusion and access for all of our students as we're thinking about our English learners, special services,
We might want to take, because it looks like a district mission and a district vision, which is fine. But if it doesn't say the same thing as what the one on the website says, then it's like we look psychotic. And so I'm just saying, it's like,
Yeah, we could bring this back.
yeah, and just make sure that that if we're gonna align everything to be future focused and everything, we just want to make sure that there's either we say instructional mission, instructional vision, or, you know, we define it so that it's more clear. Or, because I'm fine. I just, like, when I forgot to, well, no, I'm not, fine. I'm a little afraid, right? And so, and everybody knows it, so. But if we can just, if we refine it, or if we make them match, whatever, just so that we look coherent. That's what.
We can do some work on this and bring it back.
Thank you.
And one of the things that we had at our board retreat is recognizing, being able to celebrate wins, being able to celebrate our fantastic behaviors in the district. So I like the fact that we're doing this, and if we can expand upon it as much as possible, or somehow make sure that it's communicated out, probably be a good idea.
It's gonna be going out this week in the Edge of Excellence from the district.
Nice. Yeah, I have a question, if we're gonna do this, because there are people that support the school sites and the district that go above and beyond, even within the rules of PTA or whatever, but that would literally fit in these categories. So can we expand it so that maybe even school principals or teachers or staff can say, ooh, I want to recognize, you know, so-and-so because this person has gone above and beyond to be impactful in the school environment or whatever. Do you understand what I mean? Because there are people that really, I mean, Jeannie Steinson is one that working with the wellness fair, just beyond anything, or Kimberly Schaff changing the climate and culture or enhancing the climate and culture of the school, where you go, that aligns with what we're trying to do to be impactful for students, to make them engaged and want to come to school.
I think that's a great idea. I think that Mr. Hanson wanted to do a TikTok about it.
You know what? And in a kilt with a sword. And then we can have a TikTok challenge between maintenance and tech and do a throwdown TikTok. Maybe it's getting away from these.
Okay. 11.0 discussion/action items. 11.1. So we do have revised items here. You can go ahead here and read. Let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and read off here. Educational services approval of the contract with the San Bernardino County Preschool Services Department to provide Head Start and Early Head Start services at Valley of Enchantment Elementary School VOE during the 2025-2026 school year. Fiscal impact up to $250,000. Budget source tomorrow's readiness starts today, the TRST grant. We did earlier in this meeting mention that there was a revision related to this agenda item. And the revision is related to in 1.A, under B, contractor responsibilities, and 1.A, class of not more than 15 children each for a period of 180 days. So the revision is related to there being not more than 15 children. Okay, so I'm going to open up discussion on this.
I think
Actually, I do need a motion, actually. Of course, you have your little button.
You're both on the team.
I move we approve 11 11.1 with the amendments.
Second,
So moved by Bill, seconded by Cindy. Now I will open up discussion.
Okay.
Then calling for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
And I just comment that that contract has a lot of expectations for our staff. New preschool coordinator will have a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of reporting that has to be done. There's things like a parent committee that has to be formed. There's a lot of detail and expectation in the contract
and the budget.
and the
If I can share, our preschool team that has been hired, our teacher and our aide, were at the training today at the preschool department. And so if you think about the parent committee, kind of like having a school site council, if you think about the parent conferences, like we would do at elementary or middle school, in terms of those commitments, and again, going through that breakdown. So we're excited to welcome our new teacher and aide who will be on site at VOE tomorrow. So I'll be joining them in the morning, and they're excited to get everything set up. And then the really great thing is PSD provides all of the training. They provide the curriculum, the DRDP, one of the assessments you see referenced there is something that our teacher has experience with doing before, and she also has experience with Head Start. So a lot of the things in terms of the training are revisits for her, which is really great. So they're providing a lot of support for us, the curriculum, the furniture, all of those details, and we've got two really eager staff members getting ready to start.
Yes, in addition to, from the slide side mentioned is, this is really kind of a sublease. We're under the license of San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools contract. They have all the services for those, provide the support for we achieve those outcomes.
And that includes the things like the screenings, the health screenings and all that, or is that something that can come under what Ms. Sakis has been doing with the school?
Now that all goes through the preschool department. Now our staff might help facilitate, right? Because they're the staff on site and I have the relationships with the students, but it's going to go through, it's very regimented how Head Start has to run their program. And so that's where, again, they're training and then monthly trainings that are coordinator, or we might be sending our teacher until we have a coordinator so that she's up to date on all the new pieces and procedures, but it's a monthly update for our preschool so that we're following all the Head Start components. But again, our teacher has experience with Head Start and is
And could that facilitate some of the screenings that we are doing for like older children as well? Because we could want to do more of a partnership with the county. Could that facilitate that?
They are currently separate, but it's something we could always look at to see what overlap exists, to support that online action.
I know that we have screening mobile unit, for example, in the county. We could work together with that, utilizing that for the preschool as well as them for our.
And something to look at.
Let me also ask, just wanted to clarify as far as the costs associated with preschool for the first couple of years. Is that going to have any hit on our general fund, on our budget?
Under the trust grant, that partnership is paid for through the trust grant. So the answer is no. No impact.
Thank you. Anything else? 11.2 Business Services Resolution number 25/26-01 to declare property known as Grandview Elementary located at 180 Grandview Road, Lake Arrowhead, California, 92352 as exempt surplus land under the California Surplus Land Act. Fiscal impact none. So moved. Cindy?
Second.
Bill? Discussion? And calling for the vote. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Now moving on to the consent, 12.0 consent calendar. Do you wish to have anything pulled? No? Okay. And if I can have a motion for 12.1, 12.2, 12.3, 12.4, 12.5, 12.6, 12.7, 12.8, 12.9, 12.10, 12.11, 12.12, 12.13, 12.14, 12.15, 12.16, 12.17, 12.18, 12.19, 12.20, 12.21, 12.22, 12.23, 12.24, 12.25, 12.26, 12.27, and 12.28. So, I'm seconding. Bill moved. Cindy seconded. Any discussion? Calling for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Skipping 13.0, 14.0 governance, team future agenda items, planning. I am going to ask for our September 11th meeting if we can bring back the advocacy platform. That'll be our study session, but if we can have a couple minutes just to be able to make sure that we're all in agreement before we get that posted. You okay with that? All right then. 15.0 future meeting dates. Board study session, district facility priorities, September 11th, 2025, from 2 to 5 p.m. 24740 San Moritz Way, Crestline, California, 92325. Regular board meeting, September 18th, 2025, 4 o'clock p.m. Closed session, 5:30 p.m. Open session, 24740 San Moritz Way, Crestline, California, 92325. Regular board meeting, October 16th, 2025, 4 o'clock p.m. Closed session, 5:30 p.m. Open session, 24740 San Moritz Way, Crestline, California, 92325. You do not need to recess to close session. So 17.0 adjournment at 17.1. Motion to adjourn. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. The meeting is